what is doable for all of us, and it's like within our reach, because Simcha will explain all these things. So go for it.
Excellent. Well, first of all, let me just say it's my pleasure to be here. Thank God I've had the ability to work with many organizations, schools, kollels, yeshivas, chesed organizations, kiruv organizations, really, everything in the Jewish world, helping them raise money. And what my specialty is really coming into an organization, helping them identify their resources, helping them identify streams of revenue, and really helping them to, put their campaign together from soup to nuts to really raise as much money as possible. So I want to start by saying that this is not a lecture, this is a discussion. So if any point if somebody has a question, feel free, you can raise your hand, unmute yourself, just ask away. And I want to make sure everyone can kind of leave this meeting feeling confident in their ability to fundraise and confident in their ability to what the direction is going to be reaching out and being involved. So first and foremost, what I want to say is that, when we talk about a crowdfunding campaign, I'm sure some of you participated. I'm sure everyone here has donated to a crowdfunding campaign before. But really what we're talking about when we talk about the crowdfunding campaign is there's two crowds. There's the crowd of people who are donating, the concept being that lots of people making small donations together can make a big deal and raise a lot of money. But more importantly than just in order to reach that large crowd of donors, it comes from the smaller crowd of ambassadors, which is everyone on this call, meaning everyone here are the driving force behind the campaign. If each person has 100 contacts, 200 contacts, 300 contacts, those are the people that are going to be donating, and it's collectively by reaching out through all of our networks that we're going to be able to spread the word about the campaign and drive donations to it. So the question is, how do we do that, right? And the number one objection I always get, the number one concern or complaint I always get on a call like this is people say, "But I don't like to raise money. I'm not comfortable asking people for money." Right? I mean, is there anyone on this call that is actively comfortable asking people for money?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you're the exception to the rule. But the reality is most people will say, "I'm not comfortable asking people money." And I'm like, okay, that's good, because that means, you have the right perspective on what it's like to be a taker, right? Most people, we don't want to be a taker. We don't want to be going to people and saying, "Give me a handout," right? And so our natural inclination when it comes to raising money is you feel like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because I don't want to be a taker." But the reality and what the perspective change on this is not being a taker, but being a giver, right? So if you're asking for money, you're actually doing it wrong. If you're giving people the opportunity to partner, you're doing it right. And what we're talking about, what does that look like in practicality? So when we get messages from people, how many of us have seen messages that say things like, "Please, can you just donate to my yeshiva?" Or, "I really hate to ask," or, "I never do this," or, "Can you do me a favor?" And it's desperate and nebby, and like nobody wants to be it doesn't feel good to ask. It doesn't feel good to give. You're doing it out of guilt,
It says in Likutei Halachas in Hilchos Orev, there's two different relationships. We'll learn one day. But it talks about the first one you're talking about is when you lower yourself to the person, and you're like receiving, and then you can receive without lowering yourself, and it's not the same type of relationship. It's like
Exactly. And that's the idea, is you don't need to put yourself below anybody in order to try to solicit them. Other, what you want to be doing is putting yourself in a position of power, of opportunity, that they need you more than you need them. And the way we do that is, instead of asking out of desperation and trying to get them to give out of desperation, is you want them to give out of inspiration. And so that call goes like this. Hi, so and so, and this is someone you know, obviously. Typically, people, you're going to all be calling people you know. I wanted to tell you about my call. I don't know if you know, had this unbelievable opportunity to be in this call out the last year, where I'm learning in a way I've never learned before. I'm davening in a way that I've never davened before. My inspiration is at an all-time high, and I'm with the most phenomenal people in the most unbelievable kollel in the most unbelievable city in the world, and this kollel is going like crazy. So I know how much more we can do, and I would love it if you could partner with us. So that while we're building this kollel, if you could sponsor, we have all sorts of sponsorship opportunities. And if you could sponsor something and partner with us, that would be absolutely incredible. And when you're having a call like that, right? When you're putting it in that context, you're not asking them for money for you. You're not saying, "Hey, can you give money to my kollel so I can get a stipend?" You're actively saying, "No, we want to grow. We want to expand. I have so much of course at Tove for everything this kollel has done for me that I want to give of my time and my effort to try to let other people know, and I want you to have the schus to be able to build this. It doesn't matter if they live in Swat. It doesn't matter if they live in Baltimore. It doesn't matter if they live in wherever, But the fact that you're building and contributing to Torah learning in Eretz Yisrael, and that you're able to do it in a way that's really where it's necessary and it's thriving, you know. That is a game changer. And you're not, instead of taking money from them, you're giving them scar, you're giving them opportunity. Let them take credit. I'm building this kollel in Sfat. I'm helping. I'm a donor for this kollel in Sfat that is doing incredible things. And you come with it with a legitimacy and a place of passion and excitement. People will open their hearts, they'll open their wallets. And for those who do, they're going to be so happy to give and support you. And here's the real kicker: is even those who can't, if you're coming from a place of passion and excitement, their reaction is going to be one of saying, "Wow, that's so amazing what you're doing. This sounds so exciting. I really wish I could be part of it, and I wish you a tremendous hatzlacha." Because if they see that you are passionate and you're legitimate and you're not asking for a handout, but you're trying to do something meaningful, and you're trying to give them the opportunity to do something meaningful, then they're not going to put you down or degrade you or reject you. They're going to feel badly that they can't participate, and they're going to give you the encouragement to keep going. And that's really the icker, because what happens is when you schnorr, then and people say no, you feel dejected, you feel empty. But when the people appreciate what you're doing, and they have their own circumstances, right, they're going to at least leave you with that inspiration to keep going. And that's really a big difference here. So that's the right attitude towards doing this. And it's really going to be, I cannot say enough, this is a group effort, it's a team effort. It cannot be done by one person. It's going to require every single person putting all their kochos into this, and it's just a matter of effort. So I want to kind of talk about the practical side. But before I start moving into the practical side, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns about the hashkafic side of this?
I'll bring up a quick, Susan Fleshner, fireman of Rob's mother-in-law. And so the people, so I'm not obviously I'm not in the kollel, and
we're waiting.
So my friends, my peers, my colleagues, are in a different world than the kollel. Most of my friends are in conservative Judaism. And so so part of my building this partnership with those people is, I'm not sure if they may, and I don't know, they're going to be kind and they're going to be polite, but they may also feel like this isn't what I don't believe in this, but this isn't my kind of thing.
But I
they
think
might be nice and do it, but because of me and my relationship with my children and family, but it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's a different,
I do.
different kind of ask.
You could
I
approach
will
it differently
say
though.
that-
You could approach it differently as like, sorry to cut you off, Simcha, just to, because I've dealt with this a lot. But if you approach it from the side of when it comes to less religious people, if you approach it from the side of supporting a community in Israel of Anglos that are together, supporting the rebuilding of an ancient city in Israel with a community center that provides meals for Shabbats, that families that are needy and need help on Shabbat meals, community, making sure there's a wedding dress for a kala, making sure that they have a wedding canopy. These are the things that we're doing that are not religious but more cultural and more.
That's true.
One thing
that was
one thing that people in that world love are tax deductible donations.
Also true.
But that's seventh on the list.
For multiple reasons. Like,
I think
and for multiple reasons.
Thank you.
And I'll say, because the tax deductible, if you're registered as a nonprofit in America, then it gives legitimacy to your campaign.
Right.
And,
Yeah, we have that.
If you say, like, we're not like some schmageggies, like just like screwing around all day, give us $150,000, but we're actually like a legitimate organization that it's real.
Thank you.
People would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So no, I appreciate two good avenues. Thank you.
So if I could just add on to that for a second, the first thing I want to emphasize is people give to people, not causes, right?
Right.
So that's a big thing. And people want to feel that their donations, their money is going to be well spent.
True.
And so when they have somebody who is a friend of theirs, or they have a relationship with, who is speaking about a cause that they find to be important and that they're passionate about, then people will give for that reason. It doesn't matter if it's Save the Whales or UNICEF or Kollel and Tzvat. It's the fact that there's somebody there who's giving that endorsement. And when it comes, and this is for everybody, is that when you're speaking with passion about this, that passion really can shine through. It doesn't matter if you're making a video chat, a phone call, leaving a WhatsApp note. When you're having the passion and people feel your passion and energy, that's going to inspire them to give. And you can pitch it in a way that's going to connect to them. And there's obviously different people are going to feel different things. Thank God you guys have the ability. It's not such a niche. While there's elements of what you're doing that is very niche, there's elements that are so crucial, to be building a Torah community, a Jewish community in Tzvat is something many, many people can get behind, especially, people different movements. So certainly there's what to connect to, but more importantly is the who and the how than the what.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good ideas.
So that being said, I want to share my screen. I want to show you some basic information about the page, about what we're doing, and how this is going to work. So right here we have the campaign page. So you have the video here on top. You can see the donation total. And we have here sponsorship opportunities. So for example, there's 100 available to sponsor Shabbos and Yom Tov meals for the Kollel. So for $180, and when someone does the sponsorship, that number will drop down. So we have Sfarim sponsors, sponsor a student for 1 month. So all these things are things that we can do that somebody to pitch to somebody as a sponsorship. But when you tell somebody, hey, would you like to sponsor this opportunity? Many times that's something that is more it's a bigger connection for people than it is to, hey, can you just give a general donation? Can you sponsor a family for Shabbos? Is like, oh wow, that sounds great. Like, it's something. Or would you like to dedicate some books for $360? You can dedicate books to the library for the Kollel. So stuff like that is going to be it kind of tells people what you need. It tells people what you're doing, and it kind of gives them a direction of how to donate. As you can see, the donation lists here. This is a very important button. So see, some of you have already gone and created your teams. For those who have not, so you can click this join the team button. And this button, basically, you put in your name, your email address. You can click to get a donation notification. So every time somebody donates, you'll get a notification. Not only that, but you'll also get a even if it's anonymous. So you'll get an email, so you'll know that so and so donated, and so it'll show up on your page as anonymous. But you don't have to bother them anymore because you know that they donated. When you put in your team name, so don't use the word team because it already adds the word team. So if I was Team Simcha, I would just put in Simcha. And then here, right here on the bottom, is the link that I can just copy and paste this link. It'll also be emailed to you after you click register, but you can click this link, copy it, and you can start right away. You don't have to wait. As soon as you fill out this page, you can start fundraising immediately. Campaign message you can leave blank, or you can put, I'm raising money for all my brothers in the Kollel, or I'm raising money, in honor of my grandmother, or whatever you want to put here, you can put here. And then you put your goal, and obviously we can change the goal, lower the goal, raise the goal. Hopefully for everybody, we'll be raising the goal many, many times. And then that way, having a goal is just a very helpful thing because it kind of tells people that you're raising, like what you're putting into it. So this is the page. The next thing I want to show you, I sent this out to Rabbi Liebner. He could send it to everybody else. This is the volunteer package. So you all will get one of these. We have the cause. It starts with us, reasons why you should participate, how to sign up for a team, just basic information for yourself. Remind yourself why you're doing this, why you're involved in this. The script. The script is not meant to be read from directly, like you're not robots, but the script is meant to guide you in making phone calls for how the call should go, basically letting people know why you're calling, or what you're calling about, telling them a little bit about the call out. And, we give you multiple things to say because you're going to connect to something differently. And now we want you to be able to feel like you have a reference. So that way it makes the phone calls much more comfortable. Obviously, every phone call ideally should end getting a donation. The best is always if you can take someone's credit card and do it for them over the phone. So you can go back, to the page, click on donate, put in the donation. If you have a team, you can choose your own team. If they want to cover the credit card processing, they can cover the credit card processing, which is even more helpful, so we get the full donation amount, and you can just process it for them. And that's the ideal circumstance, because that way we don't have to chase them for donations. That way we know that the money's in. If somebody wants to make a pledge and they want to get donated over time, whatever it is, so you could talk to Rabbi Liebner about how, where they can send checks or donor advised funds.
Yeah, we have it on the page. I put it on the page where to send checks to.
Excellent. So let me see.
On the bottom. Yeah.
Where's that?
Hold on, let me see. I think it's at the
In
end.
the text box.
Let me see. Could be at the end. No.
If you send it to me, I can add it.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I did put it in.
Maybe it just didn't save. But regardless, so that's the idea, is that they can send checks, make pledges, and that way we can get we can add that to the campaign manually. But ideally, like I said, credit cards are the best because then we know we have the money and we don't have to chase them. And if somebody wants to do a recurring donation, they have the option. They could do a donation every monthly, and then it'll just charge you that credit card once a month, once a week, once a day if they want. And then we have here WhatsApp and email templates. The idea is if you want to email somebody or send them a WhatsApp message, we have 3 messages here you can choose from. You can copy and paste, make it your own, personalize it. And that way, if you have to message people multiple times, you can say something different each time. But the idea is, there's something called multiple touch points, right? Which, let's say somebody gives you, you reach somebody and you want them to donate, and they say, oh yeah, I'll donate, or they say, yeah, I'll get to it, whatever. Well, sometimes, I can tell you, my wife will send me a message saying, hey, can you give a donation to this cause? And the next thing I know, it's like, oh, my kid needs something, or I get a work call, or like something that comes up, I'm running out to Mincha, and like, oh, next thing I know, I just forgot. So I need reminders, So the idea of having multiple touch points that is okay, unless somebody says, no, I can't give, or unless they already give. So you have multiple options with which to reach them. Phone calls are obviously the best because phone calls, if you reach them on the phone, then you schmooze them, you talk to them. And when you make the ask, then it's like, it's going to be much harder for them to say no when you're asking them on a phone call. Whereas with a message, it could be they ignore it, right? But you can message them again and again. You can send them a WhatsApp voice note. WhatsApp voice notes are great because you can personalize them and they're really quick and you don't have to get stuck in a whole phone call. But phone calls are definitely the best. And like I said, unless someone tells you no, it's always okay to keep reaching out until they tell you no, because the only answer you're going to get differently is yes. So it's just about someone's catching them at the right time in the right place. So how do we know what our goal should be, right? That's the next question. So the last part of this, we have something called the memory jogger. The memory jogger is every person in your life, family members, people in your home community, past communities where you used to live, service providers, family professionals, kids' friends, childhood friends. Like, think about, every person from your life. I tell people often, like, if you were to think about your wedding list, right? Or your bar mitzvah, or if you're making a bar mitzvah or a bris or a wedding, who would be on your invitation list? Who would you be informing? And those are the people that should be reached out to during the campaign, right? So this is a way to kind of think about the broader list of those people. And I can tell you, like, when I do a campaign for I'm fundraising for something, so I have a wedding invite list between my people, my wife's people, her parents' friends, my parents' friends, and there's something like 400 people on that list. And if they're close enough that we invited them to the wedding, at least the hoop and dancing, whatever it is, right? Then we're close enough that I can ask them for $50 or $100 or $180 or $1,000, depending upon their means. So with that being said, each one of us, with putting in the effort and the time, I think should have no problem raising, $5,000 minimum. If you had 100 people at your wedding, that's 100 times $50 a person. That's 5,000. There's many paths with which to get there. I tell people, think about the electoral college, right? You need 270 votes to become the president, but there's a lot more than 270 votes on the table, right? Because if you can win Texas and you win Florida, and you could win by a lot more than that, right? So here you have many avenues. If you set a goal for 5,000, think about all the avenues on this memory jogger that you can use to reach 5,000. Maybe somebody with a business, and their business, wants a corporate sponsorship. And, we could easily add a little thing to the page saying thank you to our corporate sponsors, and put the logos of different businesses that are supporting us. And businesses have advertising budget. So if they can use the advertising budget as nicer by putting the logo on the page, that might be an avenue to get a bigger donation from somebody. So however we can get creative and be raising lots and lots of money, what we want to do is be doing that. And we can always raise our goals. I give you another example. So my wife is a teacher. My wife is not a fundraiser. She's not interested in fundraising. Last year, her mother got very sick. She's recovering from former leukemia, but she was in the hospital having a bone marrow transplant. And because of COVID, her mother could not have any guests in the hospital. So Beaker Hoagland became a big lifeline for us, getting care packages to her, pictures drawn by the kids, whatever. So when Beaker Hoagland had their campaign, my wife wanted to show a course of to Beaker Hoagland. So she said, okay, I'm going to raise $500. And within 3 phone calls, she had raised $500. So she said, okay, I'll have $2,000. And then $1,800, and then $3,600. And all said and done, she raised almost $7,000 because she just went through her contacts. And once she got started, it became a little bit of an addiction. And she just wanted to tell every person, and the phone call goes, I'm not doing this for me. Beaker Hoagland already helped me. This Kollel already helps me. But there's so many more people that could benefit from this Kollel if the Kollel has the ability to expand. And so I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for everybody else that I wish that has the same experience that I have. That is the pitch. And when you do it with that, with that energy and that selflessness, people will resonate with people, and people will want to give, and they want to give generously. So that's the main presentation. Does anyone have any questions, any concerns, any direction that you'd like, anything you want me to clarify?
I think we should have shirts made up with like Team Perry, Team Libner, Team, whatever, I'm just kidding. But I think this is great. Great presentation, Simpa. Thank you for explaining it. And
my pleasure.
And I feel I could see you've been I've donated to this a number of times, and so like I know how it works. And it's great. It's very good.
Yeah, does anyone thoughts? We're all ready to go out there and raise $5,000 each?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Tell me if you're not, and I'm here to help. I'm here to coach. Ram, you got a very confident bunch. Is there anything else you want to?
Yeah, I have a question. So are we going to have things to send out to people before the campaign and then during the campaign?
That volunteer packet's going to be available to you immediately. I'm going to already send it out.
Yeah, I'm going to send it on.
Okay, so it's got things you can send by WhatsApp and email.
Yep, it's got 3 templates in it. You can copy and paste and make them your own.
Yeah, I will watch up that right now.
What about graphic things? What about graphics?
Yeah, what about graphics? Are we going to have like a page that people can go to, or?
Yeah,
that's the page.
That's what I showed you before. I'll show you my screen again.
Yeah,
this is the campaign page. And what you want to do is on the campaign page with the video, people can click and watch the video about the Kollel.
Right.
They can click donate right here. And what ideally everyone should have their own page. So in order for you to create your own team page as part of the campaign, so you just click join the team, and under join the team, you fill out this information, and then that'll give you your own page.
I sent the link out yesterday. I'll just send it again so everyone gets it. Simcha, could we add you to our WhatsApp group?
Yeah, please.
For the campaign time, so people could ask you questions too.
Absolutely. You can add me if anyone has any questions, any concerns to come up, anything you want to run by me. By all means, you're welcome to reach out.
Amazing. Okay, cool. What is it?
Would be helpful to put a graphic together?
I don't think you don't need one. Just the page itself, simple. Simcha, how much time do you recommend us sitting together, like as much as we could do the next 3 days? And everyone's different schedules, different things, but what's your recommendation on it?
As much as you can. And I think if there's like a designated spot where people can be working together, I think that's also really helpful, because I think people will feel a certain connection when you're putting in the effort. It's one thing to do it on your own and stay focused and inspired is a lot harder than to be doing it with other people, who are all doing the same thing in the same spot. So I definitely recommend that, as much time as you can put in, because it's all, like I said, it's all a matter of effort. What you put in is what you're going to get out. And, there's a certain amount of this that requires just time, effort, endurance, and patience.
Yes.
We're farmers, we need to cultivate our relationships and reap the rewards.
Right. And the Franks guys, they said we could use their house or their upstairs house. I'll get a confirmation today, so everyone should know.
Well, that'd be convenient for me.
Yeah, you're right, in the same building there. Yeah.
Okay, I vote for that.
And we're gonna get some food for everyone. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we'll get together, and then have some drinks and some food. It'll be great.
And Damar. Okay.
Marius too.
I'm in.
Yeah.
What time are you thinking, Rob?
Well, what I think I'm gonna do, since everyone's different schedules, tomorrow I'll go around and just write what people's availabilities are, and then make it a range of those of what people could do, and I'll be there, and people will come when they're available. You know,
Great.
we'll
Sounds
just write
good.
it out. We'll just write it out so people could commit to certain times, whatever they could do.
Amazing. And then throughout the day, we could be doing WhatsApps and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Cool.
exactly.
All right, I'm stoked. Let's do this.
Amazing.
Let's go.
Okay, cool.
Can we raise more than $150,000? Like,
Yeah,
can it just
sure.
keep going higher and higher?
Let's go to 1 million. We could do bonus rounds, right, Simcha?
Bonus.
Exactly. We can always add to the goal, do a bonus round. 100%. That's ideal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm down for $1 million.
Oh, well, yeah. Or find somebody who will do matching funds also. Ram, is there somebody who will, double the donation or something like that? If we
Yeah.
have like that?
I don't know right now, but maybe we could find someone. We have to all reach out.
We'll find out along the way while we're calling everybody.
Simcha, if we
Okay.
have someone that say after raising a certain amount and he wants to match double donations, you could put it in the middle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, and there's a few ways to do it. Meaning, on many campaigns we've had, let's say somebody says, I'll give you up to $25,000 match. So what you'd do is you'd put it matching in up to the next, 50,000. So that way every dollar is matched for one. So ideally, I mean, yeah, that would be a very ideal circumstance to get.
Okay, cool. So everyone should look out for that. If they know anyone
Stays.
who would do a matching, put that in.
Right. Just have that word in mind. It might come be very handy while we're doing this. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
it's. I'm glad I threw it out there. I've seen that happen before also.
Oh yeah,
cool. In other campaigns. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Matching is helpful because it creates a sense of urgency. People will feel like, oh, I need to give now.
Right. Okay.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Simcha.
Thank you, Simcha. Thank you, Simcha.
No problem. My
Thanks so
pleasure.
much, brother.
I'll send you the
Cultivate.
recording.
Amazing.
Colton.
Okay, cool.
Simcha, are you still there?
Okay, cool guys. We're gonna rock this campaign and bring it to the
Can you hear me,
next
Simcha?
level.
Let's bring
Yeah,
it.
can you hear? You had a question?
Have you got a list of potential? Obviously we all want no one to reject what we're requesting, but I mean, if anybody knows some form of fundraising, there's always some rejection that comes about, and then there's always an answer to that rejection in some shape or form. I know that we've done that, and we ran a fairly substantial campaign in South Africa where we raised in excess of 20 million in one night. But you get your rejections continuously. And there was always a strategy that those individuals that were on the phones, we had a call center that would be able to answer those rejections and then not only get what they were looking for, but get more. Do you have something like that you can pass on to the guys? Because I'm not quite sure how many of these guys have actually done fundraising of this nature before.
No, I hear you. Again, it depends on the circumstances. I mean, right now, my guess is that was more of a campaign where you were calling people you didn't know. You're calling lists as opposed to people calling their own friends and family.
I know we did the same thing. If we had lists from people, except the people weren't calling, we had designated individuals calling.
You had what individuals, sorry?
We had designated individuals calling. So we had a call center of 120 people, and people sent in their names of the individuals, and it was all done very, very systematically.
I'm willing to help with all rebuttals. Anybody that has questions, I have some things stacked up as well.
So we've got
the rebuttals is
Yeah,
part of it. People get used to the rebuttals as it comes, and it's like practice, people like the rebuttals usually like people want to buy time a lot of times. They're like, okay, let me get back to you. So you have to know how to just handle it and be like, what are you ready to commit to now? You don't want to let it go, because then people just the campaign's done and they kind of slipped away. You want to just, while you're talking to them, get it done. That's my experience.
That's pretty much what it comes down to. You push until you either get a no or you get a yes. You get an
Yeah.
outright no, or you get an outright, yes. If I could just ask Simcha, like everything you showed, all those documents that you showed and everything, could we get that on one centralized Gmail, Google Drive?
Yeah, I sent it to everyone on the WhatsApp group, the packet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You should see it
Excellent.
there now.
If you have
Thank
any
you guys
questions,
so
or
much.
anything, just let me know.
I added Simcha to the WhatsApp group, guys, so we could message him over there and people could ask more questions.
Great.
Everyone have a great night and see you tomorrow in 13 hours.
Let's do this.
Call